So with the all-Toon inclusive Crash Cashbot event having gone on for about a week now on Toontown Rewritten, I wanted to take a look at everything in a little bit of a bigger picture and talk about some of the things I've liked about this event, as well as some of the things I've disliked. A sort of progress report or review so far in solely my opinion. So, starting off with something I like, it's easy enough to say this, but I like the small population boost that the Crash Cashbot event has brung in. I know it's a bit of a far cry from the old days when Toontown would bring in at or around 5,000 players at peak time, but even when I played the event at near midnight EST, it was pulling in around 2,700, which isn't shabby for Toontown in this day, even pulling in over 400 at a very late hour. Another thing I personally have enjoyed is the increased presence on social media. It's no secret that Toontown Rewritten's PR team has been pushing big time to get social media buzzing, not only on their own Twitter, but on various social medias from staff members, and even perhaps encouraging those connected to them to post as well. I like it solely for the reason of exposure. It gets more eyes on the content, new or old, and increases the chances of people not only knowing about what's happening on Toontown Rewritten, but potentially playing it. On the more game side of things, I've personally enjoyed the visuals and basics of the Crash Cashbot event. I like that Cashbot HQ has basically been turned into a literal playground for this event with the inclusion of teleportation access and the outpost including a gag shop, making it really easy to find yourself constantly hanging out there unless you need some jelly beans or some laugh points. This also includes the detail added to the HQ, including the fun hidden trolley that comes by, murals all over the place as if the Toons trash the place, the setup and visuals of the outpost and the gag shop itself being inside a train car, the messed up trains all over, flickering lights, Toontanic crushing a train, 2D background assets, and my personal favorite being this little hopscotch texture at the beginning of the walkway to the c.f.o doors.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you did it. Yeah. 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 Good job, Garrett. You did it, man. Good job. Woo. Woo. All right. I'm out of here. The one small thing I do dislike about this, however, is the actual texture resolution. Now look, I get it. Toontown was always a low resolution game, and there's an argument to be made that it's better to match the added stuff as close as possible to the original textures to prevent clashing styles, but I don't think it'd harm anyone to have some of these assets be a little higher in resolution. Like these blackboards, for example. They're incredibly blurry, and while you get the message they're saying, it'd undoubtedly be better received, in my opinion, if they were much sharper. Let me be clear about this by saying I'm not asking for the entire game or even the entire update to have 4K resolutions. But what I am asking for is consideration on going higher resolution on some of the elements that could really use it. It works well enough for a lot of the murals since it almost adds to the chalky look of them, but some things like the hopscotch drawing or the blackboards I mentioned could really use with being a bit higher quality. Even a potential jump from the 256 textures to a 512 texture would add a fair amount of detail in my opinion. This texture is 25 kilobytes. If I size that up to an unoptimized 512 by 512, it's 127 more kilobytes. You apply that jump to every single texture in the Cashbot HQ face folder, and that's including regular Cashbot HQ textures, not just Crash Cashbot textures, and you're looking at an increase of 9 megabytes. So space isn't really an issue here. Unrelated to this event, by the way, but it has always kinda irked me seeing the resolution of the silly meter GUI elements in this same fashion. I don't think it'd hurt to have this GUI element at a higher resolution, nor the one in the book, including the reward icons. Especially when you look at the beautiful higher resolution concept and finished art posted on the website and understand that all these assets surely are created at a reasonably high resolution to start and then downscaled. But before I go on too long about the texture resolution subject, let's talk about rewards. I like the steps taken to introduce unique and interesting rewards that inspire play to earn them. The Lord Loud and Clear firing SOS is a joy to see and definitely something people would probably want to stock up on. The Cogbug Unite is also interesting and beneficial to people when they're finding it a tad hard to work through max Cogbucks. The Cogbug Unite, by the way, giving a random amount of Cogbucks from somewhere in the range of 100 to 900 Cogbucks. And of course, the double experience tasks are always beneficial to Toons in need of training. The outfits and clothing items are also nice. The Cashbot Cog Crusher outfit is definitely something a lot of people would want to get, as well as a few other nice select items that go well with the ensemble. My only complaint, and I guess you could consider it a dislike, is the amount of cosmetics available at this current moment. I know, however, that more tasks and such have been promised, so there's obvious potential for even more to be added, but I would love to see more Crash Cashbot related cosmetics being added from the talented art team that Toontown Rewritten has. Right now, I think it unfortunately kind of feels like there are a few actual side quests that in the end leave you kind of feeling like you just have to do c.f.o battles over and over again. I think really the last things I can kind of comment about Crash Cashbot so far is that I like that it's an obvious boost to any player's Cashbot progress. Granted, they actually be in Cashbot HQ task-wise. It also makes just about any Cashbot related task fairly easier if you can handle the cog levels, including some of the more dreaded or annoying tasks, such as the several number cruncher tasks that exist in the task line. The downside about this entire event, however, is the potential to become extremely repetitive. Unfortunately, the downside of Crash Cashbot is the limitation of what stuff you can really have the players do. The Toontown Rewritten team do try their best to try and go around this by adding some unique or outside-the-box objectives in some of the tasks, such as visiting Goofenschmerz in the lava room, visiting Banker Bob in the Toontown Central Bank, and other various things of that nature. But the foundation of Crash Cashbot is to do CFOs over and over and over, and while doing CFOs may be fun, there's easily a limit to how much fun you can have with it in a certain time span. But ultimately, the one thing that I like the most, or at least am holding on to the most, is that this month-long event will hopefully buy more time for the Toontown Rewritten team to develop field offices and the next major updates coming to Toontown Rewritten. And with it being over a year now since it was unveiled at ToonFest 2018, I'm hoping it's coming sooner than later? So the main question is, will the event hold up over the course of the entire month? If TTR has something up their sleeves, it very well could. The promise of more tasks definitely helps to believe that the potential is there. You know, at the minimum, it would give players the reason to log on once again and get a few more items, or maybe they have some even kind of special mid or late event occurrence planned that could spice things up even a little bit more. If not either of those things, however, I could see this event unfortunately getting pretty old pretty quickly. If it hasn't already started to, and that's saying a lot because I personally love to c.f.o. But with that being said, let me know how you felt so far about Crash Cashbot on Toontown Rewritten, what things could TTR improve, and what things you particularly like, and what things you would even like to see. Thank you all for watching, commenting, and as always, I'll see you all next time in my next video.